You call incoming evil emote. You can call if that's easy? Okay, I will call. Call incoming. Pew. Hopefully this works.
Hello.
Hello!
How's it going?
It's a Cory! Alright, first, can everyone hear? Because I know that first time it was scuffed.
I am usually pretty scuffed, so that makes
No.
perfect sense.
Never.
Very consistent.
Cory gets stream cameo, yay! I don't have your PNG up, but
Hello there.
that's okay.
I mean, it's fine. We don't need any visual representation of me. Gorou's on the screen.
What are we on this? Oh wait, hold on, my game's first. Okay, there we go. Cory, first I want to say you are brilliant.
Oh.
This hangout, I mean, I always knew you were brilliant. We all know that. But getting to experience something like this and the different ways that each point of the story went, you brought it to life so amazingly.
I'm really thankful that that's the way that the hangout ended up turning out, really, because, for a while we just didn't know that much about Gorou. So being able to really see in his own
The fighting has ceased for
story
now. Commence
quest,
physical
so
training.
to speak, his hangout, we really got to see so many different sides of it, even if some of it involved certain cardboard cutouts and whatnot. We don't worry about that, but
Oh my goodness. How do you feel about being Miss Hina?
I mean, he's not Miss Hina,
Sure.
He's not even aware that Miss Hina exists necessarily.
True.
All he knows is that something weird was going on, but then they left. Though I guess how I feel about it is, how could Yai do this? Oh wait, this is all Yai ever does, so what are we really talking here?
You've been yassified.
I mean, it was pretty... I was very happy to be able to do something that's pretty funny and, like, get a flustered Gorou
Oh my
who can't
goodness.
handle... who's, like, basically me as a teenager who can't handle talking to older, powerful women.
I love that we got to see that side of him continuously, but also just the small moment where he didn't know how to respond to the person who wrote to Miss Hina about falling in love.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
that was really cute, and like, just it comes to show that he doesn't have that kind of experience, and it was cool to see him like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you forget about how young he probably is. He's probably a teenager of some kind, and even if he is like a late teenager, because we don't know for sure, but like, he's been part of military service for a while, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, he doesn't have time for like normal stuff like that, so that might make him uncomfortable, and it clearly does. So
And you voice that uncomfortableness and those little moments of doubt and flusteredness so well. Oh my
well,
goodness.
I've mentioned this before on my own stream, but like, the Japanese version is a completely different take on that. He's flustered in a different way, which I think is totally valid too. But like, that's my version of Gorou, the one that crumbles under pressure of social types and like just curls up into a little ball and can't handle it. While the other one might be a little bit more angry and standoffish because of that. But like, my Gorou hides and panics.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and I think both versions fit really well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's really cool about, voiceover across the world.
Wow. And the emotional side of it. Ah, I know you said you talked about uh, guilt when you were recording this,
Yeah.
which to me just, solidified that when I was hearing him talking at the little shrine about the box, just that word like popped into my head.
Hmm.
So I think,
Huh?
yeah, it came across very well and it was very poignant. And
Yeah.
now when I look at the morning print,
Yeah. Now you know exactly what that
yeah,
means. Did you remember that there was a box in the
A
morning
strong
print
body shows
when
strength
you
and
went to
instills
do this?
confidence in
I
others around you.
did.
I must always stay at the top of my game.
Because I remember when you first revealed the morning print, and I was like, oh, he's holding a box. I wonder what that is. Look at his sad ears. It's got to be something sad. But I didn't know
Yeah.
what it could have been. Like, I literally
It
had
could have been
no
anything.
idea.
Yeah.
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 But
I'm
the
sorry.
fact that it was
Sorry to spoil
just,
it.
yeah.
Sorry to spoil that, I guess, for a little bit, but
No, it wasn't a spoil. It was more of like I'm looking forward to and hoping that we get to find out what's in that box. And I'm glad that that was part of the story.
yeah. Well, I mean, with that art piece, I really wanted to be able to expand
Keep your
upon
weapon
that
at the
idea.
ready.
That was always
You
my
never know
favorite
what's
ending
around the
of the
corner.
5, because you get to really see those very real consequences affect him emotionally,
Mm.
and as it should, and that's something that the game doesn't. It doesn't go into. It's not like Saving Private Ryan,
Mm.
but it doesn't avoid the topic either. And I think that's why I appreciate the game, because it really just goes everywhere, right? It accepts the kind of ridiculous Miss Hina aspects, or wholesome cake eating at the end of the day, or the very real, like, we're not gonna deal with the silly stuff, and we're just gonna talk about the war and how that affected him and his own survivor's guilt. Um,
Yes.
so I really was so thankful that they shied away from, or did not shy away from any of that. I
Vital
think that's
says
what makes it very
acting.
unique.
Yeah, acting leads to interpretation sometimes. Both versions of Gorou are nice. Very true, yeah. And I think that's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Usually the idea of, like, if you got like
A
5
strong
different
body
actors
shows
in a
strength and
room,
instills
you give
confidence in
them all the
others around you.
script, you're gonna get
I
5
must
different
always stay at
reads,
the top of my game.
you know, and it depends on stuff, because sometimes you can get very similar reads, but that's true for the most part, where everyone's own personal experiences brings them to that exact moment of how they interpret it. When I think about the Japanese voice actor being more standoffish, and the way that's how he's flustered, that I think is somewhat of a reflection of Japanese culture and how masculinity works in that sense. But for me, I come from, like, being a nerdy introverted when I was a kid, when I was Gorou's age, very, like, just like, I'm gonna hide over here, I don't need to confront anything. And that's how I approached that, and that's what I thought was funny, because I like the dorky kids who, like, their voices crack when they get into trouble. I just think that's funny, so, like, that's how I interpreted it. So
And it worked out well. I'm so glad that the last part was him trying to stand up to Yaemiko.
yeah.
That last part, it's gonna hurt me. I'm gonna do it. Oh my gosh. Lord.
One of the funniest, very quick directions that Chris always had, that we kind of established with Gorou, was, if you've seen Rick and Morty, then you know, like, how Rick is and how Morty is, and he's like, all right, this one's a little more Morty. No, this is a little more Rick. Because that's essentially what Gorou can be: aggressive and, like, commanding, like Rick can be, and Morty is a wimp. So
Oh my
it's
gosh.
like on the scale of Rick to Morty, where's Gorou at right now?
That's actually genius.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
that was very quick to very, very much get me to exactly where we needed to be right at
Oh
that
my
moment.
gosh. And it worked out so well. It was really cool when Chris popped into your stream for Gorou's birthday to see I don't know, y'all work together very well, just so casually. Like the direction of just reading his birthday thing was very
That
awesome to
was
see.
it was good because it's not like even if there's new content for Gorou and stuff, it's not like we record every day or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's not enough time to do that. So to be able to hang out with Chris and do that is always a pleasure. And but yeah, like we're especially for this character, we've worked a lot on it now, so it's really cool to be able to just like kind of quickly jump into something like that.
That's awesome. I think it's been very special to have Gorou in this game, in this world, to be our friend. And honestly, we're grateful that you are the one that got to voice him in English.
I am very grateful, to say the least. I if you want, I can read the birthday letter for you if you want. I don't know if that's something you want, but
You would do that?
yeah, why not?
Oh, Cory!
Let me just pull it up.
I think I will legitimately cry.
I don't have to if you. But...
No, I think we would all love to hear it again.
Maybe there's people here who haven't heard
yes.
it yet.
There might be people who haven't.
Who's that Raiden Shogun trying to join your team? Who's that?
I know. Get out of here. Get out of here. Can you hear the bells?
Yes. What the heck is that? Where are those on your head?
There's
with the ears?
Bells. Yeah. So when I was looking for ears, I saw that these had bells, and I was like, that's a pun because bells ring, ear rings.
Oh my god.
So I bought them when I was getting my elf ears because it was punny.
So just like in Genshin, you got a bunch of extra bells from when you spent money. Okay,
yes.
Got it. Understood.
And thanks for the follow. Oh gosh.
Okay, hold on. I have the game open. Where the heck is my mail? There it is. Gift box. Okay.